my coworker try to ruin my life? I strolled into the house to find my husband Jace, sitting on the couch in the living room looking like he'd seen a ghost. His face was pale and his eyes were red and swollen, telling me he was crying. My heart immediately sank as worst-case scenarios filled my mind. Are you okay? I asked quickly. Jace glanced at me with heartbreak on his face. How could you? He whispered hoarsely. I froze. How could I what? I asked. He tossed a file on the coffee table. I opened it with shaking hands. My jaw dropped and shock filled my system. There were pictures of me and one of my coworkers, Daniel Jones. We were hugging in one, kissing in another. In another picture, we were sitting at a restaurant I've never been to. Then I got to the screenshots of texts. So many texts between us that were damning. I love you texts between us. I was going to be sick. I glanced at Jace. What is this? He stared at me blankly. Obviously, you've been cheating on me, he said in a hollow tone. It wasn't true at all, but I ran to the bathroom and emptied the contents of my stomach. Jace didn't even follow me. Not that I expected him to. This couldn't be happening. Somehow he got pictures of me with my coworker, a man I never even talked to. None of this made sense. After Jace went upstairs, I scrolled through my phone. I didn't have a text thread between me and Daniel on my phone, but when I told Jace that, he just looked at me and said I could have deleted the messages between us. My blood was boiling that my husband didn't believe me. At work, Daniel cornered me in the break room. He glared at me, hatred in his eyes. I thought you loved me, he snapped. How could you send those pictures and screenshots to everyone? I was so confused. What are you talking about? Now everyone knows about us, he yelled. Everyone knows about our affair. Did Daniel truly believe we slept together? It didn't look like he was just putting on a show. I glanced around the room, but our coworkers just turned away as if they weren't watching the show. Daniel, nothing ever happened to us, I said firmly, in a slow tone. Someone is messing with us, and I'm going to get to the bottom of this mess. I spun on my heel and left the break room, heading back to work. A few days later, I got a surprise call from Daniel's wife, Shelly. I have something to show you, she said without greeting me. I was frozen in my spot, afraid she was going to start yelling at me for having an affair with her husband. Instead, her voice was calm and gentle. What is it? I asked. Meet me at the coffee place on 7th Street, she said, before hanging up. I hopped in my car and immediately headed over to the shop she told me about. She was already inside, nursing a cup of coffee in the corner booth. I slid into the seat opposite her. What's going on? I asked. She opened a folder and took out a few pieces of papers. Someone said they saw you together at the Marriott last weekend on the 17th. She presented more dates that I was supposedly sleeping with Daniel. I remembered each of these dates. Days I was at my daughter's piano recital, or when I was on a date with my husband, or when my team had to work late one day. I was with witnesses. I had the proof during those days that it was all lies. So the question is, Shelly continued, who would want to hurt you like this? That was when it hit me. I knew exactly who did this, and I knew exactly what I needed to do. I thanked Shelly with a small, furious smile and hurried out of the coffee shop. I had to figure out my revenge plan. I thought about presenting my husband with the evidence I was telling the truth, but I was pissed that he didn't believe me, so I focused on my coworker and how he tried to destroy my life. I took the pictures to my IT friend, and she took one look at them and said, these are definitely AI. Anger filled me. The next day, I strolled into my office building with my head held high. I barely made it to my desk when Daniel suddenly appeared, face red with anger. What the hell? He demanded. I blinked at him innocently. What? I asked. You know what? He screeched. You emailed everyone in this building about how I doctored those photos to make it look like we were having an affair. I emailed them proof that you tried to destroy my life, I said coldly. All because you couldn't take responsibility for a failed project that was 100% your fault. I won't let you hurt anyone else on the team like you hurt me. Daniel suddenly screamed and swung his fist at me. I barely managed to dodge the full force of the blow, but his knuckles still grazed the side of my jaw. I held my face, staring at him in shock. Silence fell as everyone stopped what they were doing to stare. The director of HR witnessed everything. She called security and they dragged Daniel out of the building as he screamed curses at me. Daniel ended up fired and divorced within a week.